7 reasons why you need to retire ASAP. And ASAP means as soon as when you are financially free. Because if you have bills and loans that you can't clear, definitely you're not going to be in the mental state to retire happily. And if you stay right to the very end, I'll be sharing with you a bonus points to why you may not need that much for your own retirement. So without further ado, let's roll in the intro video. Hi guys, welcome back. Without further ado, let's get started. The first point is you have more time for traveling. The first place that I'd like to think of if I were to be retired fully is to travel to Machu Picchu. And if you have been there, do leave in the comment sections because it's always been like a favorite place of mine to reach. Yes, it is true that there are people who scale the mountain in their 60s and 70s, but after all, it's still a mountain, correct? We need good health, we need good legs, strength and everything to hike up that mountain to see that awesome view. From Singapore, we probably need to take 2 flights and then a train and then a bus ride up to Machu Picchu. So it cannot be done in 4 or 5 days. A trip like that definitely needs to be done in 10 days or more. And as you can guess, there are many of us that cannot take 10 days of leave in one block. Traveling has a lot of benefits. It takes us out of our comfort zone. It creates bonds with whoever we're traveling with, regardless of whether it's friend or family member. And these memories are often the most long-lasting. That is why there are books tailored for traveling, such as 1000 places to see before you die. Point number 2 on why you need to retire early is that you can choose to live abroad. I would like to think that Bali ranks very highly on a retirement venue that many Singaporeans are thinking about, and that's why I've done some homework for you to see. This is a monthly budget for a couple living in Bali, and it costs only $1,900 plus US dollars per month, and that equates to only $2,500. That again is for a couple, which means you can divide this by 2. So what does it include? Rent, $500 to $1,000 in USD. Eating out, which only is $120 to $250. Wow. When I went to Jimbaran, I thought the meals there were very expensive, but maybe I don't know the cheap local places. And once you start residing there fully, you kind of know where are the best value for money good food. Transportation, $50 to $250 only. And last but not least, health insurance of only $45. Since I'm in the financial planning industry, I can share a bit more with you on health insurance. Do know again, your shield plan that you purchase for Singapore is mainly active only for Singapore-based treatments. Only if it's an emergency that you're possibly able to seek reimbursement. That's why many say it's very important when you travel overseas to buy travel insurance. But travel insurance also has limitations. They require you to be residing in Singapore and traveling abroad for a temporary period and not staying there permanently. Even an annual travel insurance requires the period of coverage to be within 90 days only. And take note again, you need to buy it when you're still in Singapore and flying out, not when you're there, because there are clauses within the travel insurance wordings. But back to the point of living abroad. I think living abroad is like an extended holiday, and it inspires us to see and try new things and really get that experience that's going to be very different from living in a city like Singapore. Point number 3 on why you need to retire ASAP is that you are unhappy at work and you're feeling very stressed. How do I know this affects many of us? It's because I've done a survey on my Telegram group, JOSH TAN Investment Official Channel. And over there, you would see that this is the most highly ranked factor as to why many are thinking about earlier retirement. So if you'd like to join the Telegram group, I'll leave links below for you to follow on. I think it's needless to say, coming back from office late, rushing for bus at peak hour, boring lunches that we need to do with our team and bosses, no need to repeat this cycle if you are retired. And I've also this to ask you. If we want to retire earlier, we need to save more. If we want to save more, we need to cut back on expenses. If we want to cut back on expenses, we need to cut back on our expectations on lifestyle. And if we cut back on our expectations on lifestyle, we may not need to stay in a stressful job. Think about it, let me know if it resonates with you, and if it does, smash the like button and let's move on to the next point. Point number 4, retiring allows you time to chase personal goals that you did not have the chance to do so. Quoting from this book, Regrets After Dying, you would see that one of the biggest regrets is to not have the courage to live a life true to his or herself but to the expectations of others. Many times our families and social circle shape our expectations in what we want to chase, and when we're in our final days, we kind of think that's not really what we wanted. We may have put out some personal goals, ambitions, just to fulfill the pressing matters of work. And as we know, putting it for tomorrow, tomorrow never comes. And think about this point, myself, I would like to climb maybe Mount Everest base camp. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know if I have the guts to do it. I don't know if I have the chance to do so. And also, if you have a story or a regret to share also, do leave in the comments sections. The fifth point is why you need to retire as soon as you can is if you are concerned about your health. There's something that's the most obvious, whether you are working in the hawker center, in hospitals, or in the bank's back office, and that is working in night shifts. You can kind of guess already, working in night shifts puts a toll on your health. There are studies that suggested that 10 years or more of rotating night shifts are associated with 20% decreased odds of healthy aging. That means there's increased risk of diabetes, that means there's increased risk of being overweight, and all the related problems that come with your heart and your well-being. And speaking of this, let me share with you, if you are looking for a full retirement planning exercise, because you're serious about quitting your job earlier, do look for my links below for a one-to-one fee-based work. I cover not only retirement planning and investments, but also cover on optimizing your insurance, which relates to your health. I cover also on personal tax optimization and CPF optimization. So as always, if you think I can make a difference, look for my links below. Point number 6 as to why you should retire ASAP is to experience working in other jobs. I have a private client who actually tried to work in the hospitality segment. Hospitality means you work in hotels. It is something that he always wanted to experience, and he even took a pay cut for it. The problem is it always looks good on outside because we imagine in the hospitality work we are with guests at a nice swimming pool. But more often than not, once we get into the work, once we get into the trenches, we realize that hospitality is about managing angry guests, managing overworked staff, and it is not as glamorous as it seems. So there are definitely many other jobs that could be for semi-retirement. And you know, when we talk about semi-retirement, we also talk about barista fire, which is building up an investment pot and working as a barista to fulfill your expenses. Because we associate being a barista as being chill and less stress. But I have also a question. I haven't really seen a 60-year-old barista at Starbucks. More often than not, it's someone young. Do you agree with that? Because that clearly means we can't work as a barista in our 60s and 70s. Point number 7 as to why you should retire ASAP is to spend more time with your family and friends. This is the second thing actually that I would like to vote as a young parent myself. Because the saying always goes, kids only grow up once and it's always long in the day and short in the years. Thankfully nowadays there's so many ways to capture memories. This is a short clip I share on my TikTok whereby I traveled to Taiwan with my 2 boys. Taiwan is known for its 夜市. I brought them along. We start off at Taichung Fengjia Night Market. But spending actual time is definitely still valuable. This is again from Regrets of the Dying by Bruni Ware. She's also mentioned that many have regretted not staying in touch with their friends and realized that they've been so caught up with their own lives that they let their golden friendship slip by over the years. Think about this, if you have more time in retirement, you can spend that time with your friends because relationships are often an undervalued asset to our lives. Since you start with me here, I've actually a bonus tip for you. How much you need to retire depends really on your expenses. Some of us are happy to lead a minimalistic lifestyle. Buy a small house, pay it off fast, be very frugal, and if you only spend $2,000 a month, take note again, the financial freedom calculation is 25 years of annual expenses, which means $600,000 is a figure before you are financially free. This is called lean fire. Whether it suits what you're expecting depends really on you, and how to build it up is to save and invest consistently. Say for example, you have $50,000 left after clearing off all your loans, and you're willing to look long term by building $2,000 a month into your investment pot. In 15 years time, you could exceed the $600,000 needed for you to be considered financially free. And as always, if you feel that number is still too small, you can just do part-time work, you can rent out a room, or you can even be semi-retired as long as it still brings in certain allowances and income. And if you'd like to learn more, I've actually handpicked this previous video I've done, 8 signs that you could be going to have enough for your retirement. If you haven't seen that, let me invite you there. And thank you for watching till the very end. Take care as always. Goodbye.